It 100% gave me the advantage. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's the full difference. Like,
Yeah.
I think everybody else should challenge yourself. No matter if you're already doing it, cool, you're in the right place.
Yes.
If you're not challenging yourself to step outside that box, everything that we thought we knew about this industry or whatever genre you're in,
Mm-hmm.
you realize now you didn't know nothing.
For sure. Welcome, Riston. How's it going, man?
Man, feeling good, man. Shit, I love the space.
Definitely.
Like, you know what I mean? Just being in a new spot and getting to talk on a microphone is always like my shit. So
Absolutely. Well, cool. Welcome to the first pilot episode of Just Enjoy.
we're going to set it off.
We hope you just enjoy this. So first and foremost, tell the people all about you, what you do, kind of where you came from. Let's hear the story.
Let's see, if we got to start it back, you know what I mean? I come from South Carolina, so small town, Pageland. It's right outside of North Carolina, but we like at the state line. So the type vibes over there is just like, just regular country living, real stuff. You get into farming, get into agriculture, different stuff like that, but not really music and creativity.
Yeah.
So I kind of got that from like experiencing and traveling and coming to California. And then now pretty much, since I came to California, I'm known for being like a pretty sick rapper out here. Overall musician now because
Right on, yeah.
I just do a lot of things, but I've been blessed to be able to do like music in the way I'm doing it, coming from where I'm from especially. And I've been able to take it back to where I'm from. So,
Absolutely.
that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel the same way growing up here. The arts isn't too, we got marching band and we got all that stuff, but
It's not.
anything beyond that is kind of like, oh, what are you doing with your life, So I definitely feel you. So what brought you down to San Diego? What was
Man.
the...
Originally, man, I was in the U.S. Navy, and so I did like 9 years straight of that. So I started off like my first duty station was in Japan. I moved on from there, and I ended up landing in San Diego eventually. And when I was here, that's when I first started like kind of like understanding the city a little bit. But in the midst of that, I was meeting like musicians.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wow, I want to do music. But I started while I was in the Navy, and I had that kind of weird dynamic when I was in the Navy. Like, all right, how do I do this full time while I got a full time job?
Push and pull, yeah.
And then when I finally left San Diego for a little bit, that was like my eureka moment. I was like, okay, cool. I need to get out of here and chase my real dream.
For sure.
So when I got back to San Diego around like 2014, 15 time frame, it was like I was all in, doing music no matter what, like, because I was going to do it full time though, So,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it for sure helps. I've noticed that the minute you start kind of prioritizing, allocating outside jobs, all that stuff to cater to your music, that's when you really start seeing that progression start happening. So
Big facts.
yeah, so props to you for doing that. So let's talk about here, just because you're starting to get kind of into the EDM scene. How has that been for you? I know you haven't really done anything live, but just working on records, bass house.
Man, I kind of wanted to always be in that scene. It was one of them scenes where it's like when I got into it, like, because I would kind of like watch like YouTube videos of people like shuffling and all kind of shit. Just random.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I was just one of them guys that put on loop videos. And then so like EDM, I started using it for workouts before I knew that it was even called EDM. I just called it my workout playlist.
Definitely.
So I got it. So I never knew who was like, I never knew who made nothing. I just listened to like mixes of things, right? So then like, at that same time though, I was like taking it in. So I would like freestyle over them, do stuff like that.
Okay,
So like I was always wanting to be in that world, and I was just like, yo, who gonna send me something?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
for
So
sure.
like, you got to meet the people who do it. I was always at parties. I was
Yeah.
at places like that, but getting to a DJ by the time you at his party, you probably not gonna meet him.
Oh yeah, for sure, for
You
sure.
know what I mean? So-
Yeah. Well, okay, so then touching on that, so you're very diverse in terms of your genres. So,
Yes, indeed.
This man right here, I swear you could send him anything and he will come back with something that's just like, wow. So I know with you and I had started with my band One Hot Planet
Yeah,
with our
definitely.
Saucy Cakes track. So, let's kind of talk about that. Is that something that kind of came with practice? Coming in other genres, or is it just kind of like your style just seems to work with other things well? Like what's your kind of take when it comes to that?
To be honest, man, that was like, I really love everything, right? So like my thing was like, I don't know if I was anti so much being normal,
Yeah.
that whatever something was different, I got into it. So even when I was younger, my mind always went to this one place where I was like, all right, whether it was wrestling theme music, you know what I mean, the Stone Cold theme music,
Yeah.
Kane, Kurt Angle, The Rock, whoever it was back in the day, they had a lot of different DX, Generation X, a lot of these sounds and these songs I fell in love with wasn't what everybody was listening to where I was from.
Yeah.
But still, yet I had like a real liking for that stuff. So then that grew into like, you know, I'll be the same type that might buy a random Miley Cyrus CD.
Yeah. Yeah.
The first one.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Not, you know what I mean? So then I might be the same guy that might see that album in the corner of a record store, and I'm going to it because it says other genre or alternative, you know? And so that kind of grew into why, like, I was like, I'm not just learning to rap and rhyme over one thing. In the car, I might put on the pop station and I'd come up with 1,000 ways that I might do those songs.
For sure.
So that's like what kind of grew into when I had a chance to do it on my own. I just fell in love with people sending me different stuff. And if I could still make that in my image in the way that I said I was gonna do it before I was an artist, when I was pretending, then now that's why I attack and make sure I come up with something. I don't care how much I gotta figure it out.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, definitely. So now to touch on that, do you you know, we as musicians, creative, you always hear, you know, you got to niche down, you got to really hone into your thing, you know, and I'm kind of 50-50 on that. I think that it's important to be able to be diverse, you know, especially as a music producer, but even more so as a vocalist, because I find that people get almost too caught up in what they're doing that they put down other opportunities. So do you think that kind of gives you an advantage up in the you know, down in the San Diego scene as compared to different other people that might be?
It 100% gave me the advantage. Like that's the full difference. Like I think everybody else should challenge yourself. No matter if you're already doing it, cool, you're in the right place.
Yeah.
If you're not challenging yourself to step outside that box, everything that we thought we knew about this industry or whatever genre you're in, you realize now you didn't know nothing.
For sure.
You know, because everything's changing, and it might change right in your face, and you aimed on something, and now nobody's into it no more.
Yeah, definitely.
You know,
yeah.
Just that quick, and you put a time into it. So I look at it as like, if music is all going around in a big circle, you know what I mean, 60s, 70s, 80s, and everything comes back around, then I might as well learn it all.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
well, yeah, because the cycle's eventually going to repeat itself.
Exactly.
So.
And I'm not going to be out of cycle ever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, and, you know, I do think that is kind of interesting how, you know, maybe it could be like people's attention spans are going down and we're all shifting and we have to kind of, you know, innovate. But I think it was kind of unheard of pre-2010 for, you know, a person in this genre to do something in this genre, and now it's kind of like encouraged. And if you're not doing that, then you're left behind, you know.
Yeah, it is. People would tell you back in the day, the craziest part, they'll tell you like, what kind of audience are you looking for?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or back there, say, how do we market this? Right? That's what people ran into with me at the beginning of my career. Everybody was like, all right, man, make something for the club.
Yeah.
And you're like, dang, let me build my foundation for it.
For sure. Yeah.
Make something for this. I did. You just want me to make 18 of them.
Yeah.
You know?
I know. Yeah. Well, and then I think inevitably that's how people burn out eventually, because they're not allowed to, or in their own head, they're not exploring other options, and
they get bored.
Yeah, they get bored.
Now you're not just enjoying it. You know what
exactly.
I'm saying? Like, really, that's really what it comes down
for
to.
For sure.
You're not enjoying it at all. Like you fall out of love with something that you dedicated your life to, quote unquote, right?
Definitely.
But you dedicated your life to one aspect.
Yep. You know, it's funny because 2018, when I entered my schooling program for production, I went through this phase where I literally made a beat every single day for like, 3-4 months. But I made a lot of good stuff. I made a lot of bad stuff.
Exactly.
I think it's necessary to kind of, really grind it out to see like what you got. But I did feel that definitely, where I was like, oh my God, I don't want to make another beat for as long as I live because, it just kind of sucks it out of you. So, okay. So touching on that, let's kind of talk about 35 a little bit of that previous album that we did. What kind of inspiration going into that? What
really the productions you was sending me, like at that time when you sent me that record, those tracks, I didn't have like anything in mind yet, right? But when everything that was pumping off of the records was coming off like very like I just had this newfound motivation in me.
Yeah.
Like I was in the best shape of my life.
Yeah.
I was running around in the busiest I had ever been, doing it in a way that I always wanted to do it. So everything I wrote on there, and then the crazy part about it, I was like, man, these beats are really getting me like high energy, like working out, feeling great, right? But then I was like, man, I want to make sure I do this clean.
Yeah.
Without using any profanity. So I made a challenge of that. You know what I mean? So it was just like, and then that album, as it came out and everything, and then the name got discovered because, you know, JR steps in and helps me like kind of package all that together.
For sure.
But when he finally got that name title down, it was like that title, like album that kind of like in this industry that's against you aging, that don't let you age gracefully.
Yeah.
Right? Because like, for some reason, you know what I mean? Like, I guess your art is just not good anymore to yourself, and then it just trickles downhill to people, and then they reinforce that, and then we all just get a sense of like hating ourselves.
Yep.
So instead of doing that, we stood proud on something. You know what I mean? Proud of our growth, proud of how far we came, and that album was like everything that I could have imagined to do it in a quick 7-song bite.
Yeah.
That felt like strong, that felt like I said everything I needed to say about who I am now, but at the same time, you have no clue what's to come.
Yeah, definitely.
You know,
this camera's really well. This one's an old one. Hopefully hopefully it does its job pretty well and didn't like cut out or anything. But if not, I'm sure we can make it work.
Man, shit.
We'll
Look, this is good right here. Even if I had a PlayStation 5, I would do it here.
Yeah. Yep. We got the Xbox right there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would do something in here. I would definitely.
For sure. Yeah. Definitely. Definitely thankful I was able to do something like this, and I feel like ever since, you know, because this space has always kind of been it was out in the garage for a while.
Yeah.
But I feel like ever since, once again, kind of put my foot down and took it serious, you know, I feel like just mentally,
heck yeah,
you know, you're like, oh, I'm
serious.
doing this, you know.
You're taking yourself very serious.
For sure. Definitely. So, let's see the Boulevard experience. Let's talk about that. Where kind of that idea come from?
Man,
who's all your team?
That was another one of JR's moves, man. My manager, but he also not just a manager. He also is like the founder of the Boulevard experience.
Okay.
So like, you know, the Boulevard experience, you let me tell it, it's one of the hardest working creative agencies in the city, right?
Yeah.
But not just in the city, in the world, man. Because I promise you, we work at the tier of everybody we look up to. So like, we really are like aiming for excellence.
Yeah.
And the Boulevard experience was something that we was all able to get our creative endeavors off under that umbrella. We didn't have to feel like it was an individual. It didn't have to be the Riston Dig Show.
Exactly.
Or JR and Friends. Or, you know what I mean? It had to be none of that.
Yep.
It was under something that we all could work for.
Yeah.
We came out of the Navy, man, so it was just like we were in the Navy, so we wanted to put ourselves in another organization.
Yep.
And that organization, on top of it, you know, we was like eating sushi, like, I think I want to say like off like whatever one of the fancy Melroses or whatever shit is in LA. We was up there doing that. And then like that name came, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? The Boulevard experience, the Boulevard Boys, we was hanging out like that. And everything we did was just felt like we was doing it on somebody's boulevard.
Yeah,
you know
definitely. I do definitely think that is an important thing to have. It's so hard to do everything on your own.
Yeah, definitely. And it's impossible.
Yeah, you need some kind of team, and that's definitely a big it's a big factor, and I've experienced this firsthand recently because I've always been a part of a band or even back in a high school, you know, just doing marching band. You know, you always had people to fall back on, and then as soon as I started producing and doing EDM, hip hop, all that stuff, I sat there and went, oh man, I am on my own with this, you know, and you know, shout out to Angry Dog for noticing me, Christian, my manager.
You came up with that one. That was good. Yeah. Like once you get somebody else noticing behind you, it just helps you know you in the right direction.
Oh yeah, well, and for sure, I have seen just not only on like a work aspect, but mentally, you got. It's kind of like a confidence, I would say. You know, like, oh, you know, I got my team. Not saying I can't do it on my own, but
you did enough on your own to get the team.
Exactly. Yeah, you want every advantage that you could possibly put on your side.
I don't want to do this alone.
Oh no,
I tell you, like, people like, how you do something? Like, man, I got so many people that's helping me, producers sending me, like, when y'all send me all that stuff, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do my job now.
Yep.
I got manager because he chose to do it.
Yep.
I got somebody who runs my social media, not because I'm the biggest actor in the world. He runs it so I don't get distracted.
It's efficient, yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's definitely.
And it's just like, I don't get distracted by it, but also if I was distracted by it, I might have to do that job. But somebody stepped up and did it for me. So I'm thankful. I'm thankful.
I've been taking that approach even when it comes to like content like this or videos. If I need artwork done, I just find somebody to do it. I need a video edited, I find somebody to do it, because at the end of the day, I was having this discussion with one of my friends the other day. I'm like, I'm a musician. I'm not trying to be a video editor.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not trying. It's just it becomes this thing where it's like, you're the marketer, you're the performer, you're the producer, you're the engineer, and it's like too many hats,
Exactly.
too many things.
And you get halfway good at all of that. And I'm like, man, that's cool.
Yep.
That you know all that, right? But I would rather take that energy of me knowing all of that.
Yep.
And I would put that into up and comer.
Yeah.
Like to show them what they have.
Sure.
Before it's myself,
absolutely,
I need to get good at my art that I'm trying to portray and get a team around me that does that. But all that has, if I want to give a gift back to somebody else I'm trying to support in the city, oh, believe me, I'm going to use all my talents.
Yep.
I'm going to bring in my photography skill, my video.
Yeah. For sure, yeah. Well, cool. So going onward into the future here, I know we're working on a secret project, but definitely let's just kind of maybe drop some gems with that. What's your inspiration coming from your last album 35 or some previous projects coming into this new one?
This one is it's the first project that I approached from a standpoint I challenged myself to be less like wordy. I wanted to be more melodic on things that have like more of a vibe that felt, I won't say fun. You know what I mean? I wanted a lot of the tracks to come off not just fun in what I'm saying, but I wanted it to feel like, you know what I'm saying, the feel that it gives you is like, it says, I'm having a good time.
Yeah.
I could be saying a lot of things in there making you feel things, but I needed that overall music to feel that way.
Yes.
And so that approach was how I really went into it. On top of it, it was just like, I had felt like I had dibble-dabbled in so many different directions that this was just the embodiment of that. So many different beats, so many different sounds, so many different things. So this is like honestly like one of the few albums I could say like there's a different flavor.
Yes.
On almost every type track. You know what I mean?
It's kind of like a flight.
Yeah,
tasting a little bit of everything, but it all meshes.
It does. It meshes so well, and I believe. Honestly, like we were working on this for a while, and it came together quickly. It seemed like it, but when I look at it, it's some of the best work I've done.
Oh yeah,
even though and sometimes you want to not say that because you like, I worked on something else longer. Yeah, but I'm like, it feel like it. I've heard even like what it sounds like today, and I'm like, if that released today, I would have 500 people calling my phone.
Yeah. And that is funny that you say that about the time frame, because I have been noticing in the last couple months that the best stuff I've been making, I've just been kind of doing it.
Oh yeah.
And just moving on, and it seems to be working, because I've always overthought this, overthought that, and then you end up just ruining it because you came up with, you're just tearing it up too much. So that is definitely a big thing that I appreciate about you, your ability you got the vision, you execute it, and you execute it well.
Oh yeah, real time is the best time. You send me something, if I'm getting to get on, all I gotta do is just look around my life, what's happening, what's going on, you know, like, and then at that time, when it's time for me to write, I like having a beat ready. Yeah. Yep. So,
and that comes from practice too.
Man,
so
it is. It's
practice.
Like practice writing all the time when you don't even have songs coming out. Yeah. You know what I mean? Unreleased records I got unreleased records out all over the place. Yeah. And that's fine with me. I don't care if some of them never see the light of day. Yeah. Because I have so many that will.
But if you ever needed an emergency track for something,
oh man,
I got something.
I could keep people entertained as long as the rest of the years I got left.
Yeah, definitely. Right on. Well, sounds good, man. Well, thank you so much for coming out here.
Yeah, man.
Go ahead, shout out your socials where they could all follow you.
Man, you can type in Riston Diggs on everything, right? Like literally everything. I'm in a band, the Gravities. You could type that in on anything. That's the Gravities, like Gravities. So,
Very great group, by the way. Very great.
Man, it's been fun. We've been doing a lot of stuff around here, and the cool part about doing that is anytime you see us live, just like One Hot Planet, we put on an amazing show.
Definitely.
So check me out on anything like that. This new album, just be on the lookout for it, as well as this podcast. Tap into here, man. Just enjoy. Like, I mean, I'm one of the.
You're the first guest here, yeah.
Guest, so like, with me starting it off, just know it's only gonna continue to get better and better because I set the bar so high. So if you looking to be a guest on here, you got to drop some gems or something.
Definitely,
you know what I'm
for
saying?
sure, absolutely. All right, well, everybody, thanks for tuning in. First pilot episode. Hope you enjoy it. Stay tuned. I'm gonna plan on releasing these bi-weekly in the new year. So this episode will come out after the new year. Start the new year off right.
2023.
2023 is going to be a big year. Be on the lookout for his album. Give him a follow, Riston Diggs. I'll put all the socials down here in the description. And once again, guys, thank you for tuning in. This is Just Enjoy. My name is Banyan, and we will see you guys later.